to remind myself of how far I've grown. I did it last year. I'm going to do it again this year. And then look at the videos I'm doing now. They're totally different, much better quality. I've upgraded some of my equipment and stuff, but the whole point was I got started.
I see my victory so clear. I see my victory so clear. And today, we break through. And today, we break through. And today, we break through. And today.
During this time, I started posting stuff on Instagram because I had like 400 people who knew me on Instagram. So I was like promoting it to them, promoting this on Facebook. So really it was only people who I knew that were seeing this stuff. And then I became a resident and I still posted, but it was all over the place. And inconsistent on when I could do it. I tried to be as consistent as possible, but you know, residency life is a little rough. And I sometimes tried to do too much in a week, and then I wouldn't post at all. And then in December of 2019, I started to decide that I wanted to actually get serious about this because I let all the stressors in residency kind of shift me away from that, which you can listen to the other podcasts I did with Adam. I kind of talk about that. But in December, I really got focused on what I wanted and made it a goal that I was going to really commit to my personal brand. And then somehow during that time is when I found Adam's page. And he was talking about the personal branding. I went to his webinar on his scripture brand and I immediately purchased it. I was like, this is what I need. I had purchased another kind of mastermind course and it was on Instagram and it was helping. But there was like something missing and I just couldn't quite get all of those pieces to fit into play. And that's what became different with the Scripture Brain course. So really in March when I started the Scripture Brain course, and like I purchased, I think it was March or June, I don't remember, May, somewhere in that area. Residency's all a blur. But once I purchased it, that's when I got very serious. And at the time I had like roughly 800 people following me on Instagram, and I really started working the things that were in there and getting focused on what I wanted to do and refocusing on that passion, which was the women's health space. It wasn't telling people how I got to, you know, through residency. That's not what I wanted to focus on. I really wanted to focus on helping those women, the reason that I started this in the first place. So that's what I focused on and have been focused on. And part of that was I decided I was going to commit to posting daily. And in order to do that, I decided to do a September self-care challenge to kind of refocus and relaunch my brand. And that was a very hard 30 days.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things doing that challenge. First off, I learned who was really passionate about the things that I was talking about within my brand. I grew a lot during that time, because I was really resonating with people because I was giving them the same type of content every single day and something that they could rely on. Yeah. And I continued that. I've been posting every single day since on Instagram and really seeing the benefits of that and really focusing in on what I wanted to talk about, which is the women's health space. While it was very difficult to figure out how I was going to post every day, I did a lot of work a couple weeks ahead of time to get those posts ready to go. It helped me figure out how to make a consistent content calendar. It helped me figure out how to batch my content so I could get that amount of content out. I am an overnight clinical pharmacist in pediatric and women's health. So I work 7 days on and 7 days off. So my 7 days on, I'm basically sleeping in at the hospital and maybe getting some food in there somewhere. So it's really important that I batch my content in order to get that stuff out to people. So learning how I could do all of that was incredibly important to me. And yeah, that's where I'm kind of at now and seeing this crazy amount of growth. I was telling you I was like at 800 when I started the Scripture Brand course. I am now at like 2,050 subscribers somewhere, or followers on Instagram. I've seen growth in my YouTube, but more than that, I have seen engagement. And that I think is more important than the number of subscribers or followers. Oh, yeah. I have people who are messaging me every single day. I have people commenting on my posts, asking questions, really building a community, which was important to me and why I did this. September Self-Care Challenge so I could help build that community. And it's been really awesome to meet some of the amazing women that I've been able to meet through this process.
So stoked for, I'm just like, my face hurts. I'm like smiling the whole time because as your coach and just seeing the work that you're doing, there's a few other things that I noticed you're doing very well. And I guess you could say side effects of the process. So you hit on one really big one, and that is that you're building community, because while it's somewhat easy, one can say, to make a post or reshare or something like that. And by the way, I think 99% of your stuff's original, if not 100%. It's all custom, you make it yourself. So that takes an effort. But the key is you actually care. And you know that because you're consistent. And I think that's the biggest key that people miss with their brand. And quite honestly, it's something that I missed really bad when I started, because I was like, ooh, a food picture, ooh, exercise, ooh, something funny, ooh, a theme, all over the place. And it created confusion. But once I got focused on what my purpose was, there started to become just what you pointed out. There started to become a community because you had a through line. You had a consistent lens of focus that you put all your content through, and that's women's health. And guess what? You started to attract women who are interested in health. Oh my goodness, right? And I think that's the biggest value when you said engagement, because people see that you're consistent, one, you care, and they can rely on you. Because people are not going to send a DM or comment on a post when you never respond, or they look and see all these comments, but there's never a response from you. So it takes work, it takes consistency, and you're building trust and community by being that authority figure in your space because you're staying in your lane. The other thing that I've noticed based on the content, and I know this because of the type of content, the amount of risk that you're doing as far as putting yourself out there and trying new things, is your confidence is exploding from what I can see as an outsider perspective. Your confidence, not only in social media, but most importantly as a pharmacist and in all other areas of your life. And once you get that confidence, then you're able to push yourself even further, doing crazy things like a whole month challenge, which when I first heard that, by the way, I was so freaking impressed. I'm like, wow, she's really going for it. Like, this is badass. So
I see my victory so clear. I see my victory so clear. It's a day.